Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video. And in this video we're going to be going slightly back in time because I'm going to be reviewing this older set vehicle, which is the 501st Legion AT-RT with ARF Trooper and TX-21 tactical droid. I believe this line was around in 2012, 2013. You can see Yoda on there. I think this is similar to that Movie Heroes line with Darth Maul on the packaging. It's around about the same time, so if there is an actual name for this particular line of figures, then please let me know in the comments section below. I got to admit I didn't look it up beforehand, but this is this Yoda style boxing, which the figures for it actually are quite hard to come by, or at least some of them are. They're quite expensive on the secondary market. I think the final wave of them might have been pretty hard to get at the time. But this is one of these like battle packs. You get two figures, you get a droid and you get the ARF Trooper, and of course you get the vehicle itself, which is the main reason why I wanted the set really. It's the 501st Legion AT-RT. The 501st are definitely my favourite clones, and I'm trying to build up a little army, especially now that we have the sort of definitive 501st Clone Trooper, which is this guy here. He was included in that 4-pack, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and put him on there and maybe even swap heads. It'll probably look a bit silly with this guy's head on there. It probably won't even work. But if it doesn't, then for now, this guy will be driving the AT-RT until Hasbro, you know, get themselves in gear and actually give us a new AT-RT driver or ARF Trooper, whatever you want to call them. So if you do happen to enjoy the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's take a look at this packaging. You can see Yoda on the top there. That's like a Revenge of the Sith Yoda. And you've got 501st Legion AT-RT, there it is in the box, big window. And I found this amusing, this fighterpods.com. I did actually try and go to that website and it was still there. So it says there's a code inside, so later on I'm going to try and enter the code and see what happens. But there's some nice artwork of the 501st with the AT-RT driver or ARF Trooper driving it, and then there's the TX-21 tactical droid standing next to him. Yeah, pretty cool. There's the side of it. There you've got a really good image of the Clone Wars version of the ARF Trooper. You can definitely see that animated style, which is what the figure is based on as well. And there you can see the toy itself on the back of the packaging. And it says an ARF Trooper, or ARF Trooper, pilots an AT-RT into combat. And then there's loads of different languages on there. And it just shows you a few of the things that it can do. It's got articulated feet, and the sort of front cannon there is articulated as well. And then the other side, you have the TX droid there. I actually quite like the design of the droid. He's going to go well in the collection as well. So I managed to pick this up on a Facebook group for a pretty good price. It is pretty expensive on the secondary market though. If you look on eBay for this, it's pretty expensive. But it's the only time they've ever done the 501st colours of the AT-RT. But we're going to open it up right now and check it out. This is how it's packaged with inside the box. You've got this plastic tray, and then you've got like a almost like a diorama stroke scene that looks like from the Clone Wars as well. And there you can see one of the AT-RTs in the background there, but mainly you've just got a load of battle droids on there, which is pretty cool. I doubt I'll be using this really. I just want to display the AT-RT with my 501st Clone Troopers. Okay then, so everything that was in that tray is now laid out in front of you here. We've got two blasters, one for the clone, one for the droid. We've got the little antenna that goes on the back of the AT-RT, and one of the legs is off. That's just how they packaged it. So what I'll do is I'll put it all together, and then we'll take a close look at the vehicle first of all, and then we'll take a look at the figures. And I'm actually quite surprised of the level of articulation that the droid has in particular, and even the figure's pretty good. I guess it was 2012, 2013, things were moving on then, but still. You know, even the figure has the ball hinged hips there, you know, instead of the swivel hips, which is pretty cool. So we'll take a closer look at those in a second, but first of all we'll just take a look at the vehicle. Okay, so assembling the vehicle is going to be pretty easy there. It's pretty self-explanatory where this leg goes. That's just going to go in there like so, and then we have the little antenna on the back here. And that looks like it can only go one way because it's got a little pin on it. So we'll just plug that in there. So there we go. Now, the walker itself has only got articulation at the top of the leg and on the ankle. So these two joints here do not move whatsoever, which is a bit of a shame. And this is why I would love Hasbro to, you know, remake this basically. Give us a brand new AT-RT with full articulation. With full weathering. I would probably want the version from Revenge of the Sith first, with an all-new ATRT driver, but I would like it if they could do the 501st one again as well, because, you know, essentially this is really just like a lump of plastic, basically. That's what it feels like. You know, there isn't too much quality going on here, but the sculpting is quite nice, and as I say, from a distance, with a new clone trooper on there, I think it's going to look pretty cool in the 501st collection. But as I say, you've only got articulation on the sort of ankle there and at the top there, so you can just basically have it standing there like that, which is pretty cool. You've got the 501st markings on there, you've got an arrow on the top. Apart from that, the paint scheme is basically just the blue on grey plastic, basically. There's not really too much else going on, no weathering or anything like that. The gun at the front, or the blaster cannon at the front, swivels that way and goes up and down as well. So small amounts of play features here, but you know, if I was a kid getting one of these, I would think that's pretty cool. But yeah, now we've taken a look at the vehicle itself, let's just take a look at the figures that came included in the set. Okay, so first up we'll take a look at the ARF Trooper there, and you can see that the helmet is pretty good. It's a nice sculpt, but it does look to me like it's based on the animation from the Clone Wars, of course. And you can also see that he has black hinges on his shoulders there, which is the colour of the plastic of his underarm there. You know, they haven't bothered to sort of paint that same blue. And you can also see that we do have a bit of yellowing on his wrist there and on his hand there, and also on the knees there. And I think that's been caused by the little elastic bands that you get that hold him into that tray. I think it's like reacted with the plastic, because it seems to be yellowing where those were holding him in, which is interesting. In terms of articulation, as I say, this figure has got quite a lot of articulation. The head is on a ball, so it just sort of moves around like that. It's not on a double barbell or anything, but he does have the hinges at the shoulders, hinges at the elbows, swivel wrists. He has a torso sort of ball joint there, but we do have hinges at the hip there instead of it being a swivel. We do have a hinge at the knee, and we also have a hinge at the ankle, but it is that black plastic once again, so it doesn't really go too well when you move that around. And you can see he's in the 501st colour scheme. But as I say, I'm not really going to use this figure. It's, you know, a very dated figure, and it's also animation style, which is what I want to avoid. So in a minute, we're going to take the helmet off of this guy and just see if we can plonk it onto that new clone. It's a completely different joint. It's not going to fit, but maybe I can get some blue tack in there or something and get it to fit. We'll just at least see what it looks like anyway. Anyway, that's the ARF Trooper. Now let's take a look at the droid. Okay, so this is the TX-21 tactical droid, and I'm actually really quite impressed with this droid. It does remind me of one of the droids from the Solo: A Star Wars Story on the Kessel Mines. That scene there, I'm pretty sure there was one that was very, very similar to this. But the articulation on this is really, really good, and the paint applications aren't too bad either. You can see he's got some decent detail on his chest plate there. But the head does have some decent movement. The sort of hinge there, or ball, is in the neck joint, so it goes all the way around. The shoulders do not have a hinge, but they do have like a sort of ball joint, so you do get a bit more motion than just your swivel around. It does sort of stick out a little bit. And then look at this for a hinge on the elbow. That's right, people, droids can have hinges on the elbows, and that is a really thin bit of plastic there. So they managed to do hinges there, everybody. 8D8. He has swivel wrists. He has a swivel at the top there, and then also those same joints that are used on the shoulders are used on the hips. So once again, it's not just a swivel, they do sort of move out ever so slightly. He doesn't have a knee joint, unfortunately, but he does have a joint on the foot there, which has got lots of range of motion. But all in all, you know, the look of the droid, I'm actually quite impressed with that. I think he looks pretty decent. In terms of accessories, you get the standard clone blaster for the clone, and then you get one of these blasters for the droid, and that looks very much like you would get with a battle droid. Okay, so here we have the ATRT driven by the figure that we got with the set, and he looks pretty cool there. He's sat there pretty well. The articulation does its job, but it would be a lot easier if he had the thigh cut, in my opinion. You'd be able to move that arm around a little bit better. So we'll see what the new style clone looks like on there in a second, but I just wanted to get the one that comes with it on there so you can see that that can be accomplished, and I think he looks pretty good. Let's just stand that there for you so you can see it. There you go. I really love the vehicles, the ATRTs. As I said, I just wish Hasbro would make this one again. Super articulated, with lots of weathering. Even though they were in Revenge of the Sith for a very small amount of time, I still love the vehicle. Obviously it's got shades of the AT-ST, which is an original trilogy Walker, but this is like a smaller version, like a one-man vehicle, and I've always liked that about it. That's pretty cool. Okay then, so let's just take the helmet off of this figure there. You can see that ball joint there. That's really old. That is not going to work for our new 501st Clone Trooper that we have here, because if we take that head off there, it's very small. But I just want to see what it looks like if I was to plonk that on top of there. I don't think that'll look too bad, you know. I think that'll look pretty cool. So I'm just going to get some blue tack or something. I'm just going to put a piece in there so at least we can secure that on there a little bit better. And then I'm going to use this figure as the driver. So we'll see what that looks like. All right then, so there he is. That is the new style clone with the ARF Trooper's helmet there. The colouring of the helmet is ever so slightly off. That one's a little bit yellow compared to the body of the new 501st, but you know, I think it still works. And of course the new articulation fits the vehicle a whole lot better as well. It looks absolutely fantastic. That is exactly what I was hoping it would look like, and this is going to look great with the rest of my 501st army. I think that looks great. Let's just put the TX droid there so you can see. There we go. Awesome. Really, really happy with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I appreciate this is an older vehicle, but needs must, because Hasbro don't seem to be making this kind of thing anymore, which is a real shame, because as I said already twice in this video, I would love it if they made a brand new AT-RT. I think it would be awesome with all the modern articulation, all the weathering. I just think it would be a good vehicle to do, and hopefully it wouldn't be too expensive as well. It'd be in like the realm of a speeder bike price, I would suggest. You know, maybe like the $40 mark with an ARF Trooper included. I think that would be pretty awesome. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Would you like Hasbro to do this sort of thing? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support means a great deal to me as always, so thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we shall see you on the next one.